Yes. Hare Krishna, welcome to the Sunday program. I know all of you are missing the temple, missing the deities, missing the lectures, and I think top of the list is missing the prasadam and the feast. And I must say we are all missing you, and it's been a long time. This technology is so amazing. These days people can communicate, they can talk to each other, and it's a bit like showing feast to someone but you're not able to eat it. So there's some benefit but not complete benefit. So we are trying in Coventry. So I must thank some of the devotees here, Anuragi and Shavan Prabhu and Radharup, Alok. They got together and they've thought of this YouTube presentation. So this is our first one today, and we have incredible things in store for you. So you get to feel as if you are in the temple and your Sunday has been worth it. And we are going to do this every week. So I must welcome you. And please sit comfortably and enjoy today's program. Now the first item is Guru Puja. Srila Prabhupada has done so much for the world, not just for us, for the whole world. And you can see in this lockdown, people are benefiting, and they encourage people to do meditation, even mantra, and Prabhupada was so ahead of his time. And we in ISKCON always remember Prabhupada every day. We read his books, we do the Aratis at home, and at the moment it's at home, not at the temple. And he guided us. It's as if Srila Prabhupada knew that something was going to happen in 2020, and he prepared the whole world. And one of the great devotees I know in Bharat, he said he's actually disappointed with the scientists. They've had 6 months and they still haven't produced anything. And the only thing which is saving the world at the moment is spirituality. So we must give big round of applause to the sadhus. They've done amazing. They knew that what was going to happen in Kali Yuga. And once I called what was it? I put it down here somewhere. Technically Yoga. So this is technically Yoga, but what's happening now, the technical things are failing. So now we're going to pay gratitude to somebody who was so great, Srila Prabhupada, and we're going all the way to Rugby. There is Tamal Prabhu and Radharup and their little daughter Gorangi, and they are so excited. They're just about to, they got the altar right, and they're going to worship Srila Prabhupada. And I suggest if all of you get off your backside, go into your garden, pick a flower up, and while, the puja is going on, offer that flower to Srila Prabhupada on the screen. So then we all are paying homage to Srila Prabhupada. So I would say, Tamal Prabhu, if you're ready, and Radharup, we're coming over to Rugby, all the way from Coventry.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada,
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada.
Shri Guru Kevala
Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Manmoye Shavadana Mati
Krishna
Krishna Prati Oya Krishna Prapti Hoi Jana Hoi Se Kya Jisate Koriya Kya Arana Koriyo Mane
Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Utama Jati
Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Utama Gati
Prasade Pure
Prasade Pure Sharva Asha Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adamajanhara Bandhu Jivana Prabhu Kora Jaya Devo More Pada Jaya Prabhu Kora Jaya Devo More Pada Jaya Vyas Shri Bhuvana Pade Yala Sharana Patita Parana Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Jayo Prabhupada. Oh Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Oh Gurudeva, 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 Gurudeva. Ittago, Ittago. Oh Ittago, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Ittago, Hari Bol. Oh Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Oh Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Prabhupada ki
Jai, Jai, Hari Hari Bol.
Yeah, welcome back. So that was wonderful Arati to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you Tamal Prabhu and Radha Roop and little Gaurangi. I bet she enjoyed it. So what we're going to do now is we were going to go over to the temple and Bibu Gaur was going to do the Kirtan, but there's some technical situation at the moment with broadbands and whatever, but we're looking into it so we can have the advantage of Bibu Gaur singing Kirtans. So what we've done instead is, last minute thing, we're going to ask Guru Sevak Prabhu and the team to do the Kirtan for 10 minutes till 4:45. So sit back and enjoy. Please join in. Thank you very much. Right. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Rama 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 Hare Rama We got another 10 minutes left. So that was Guru Sevak's composition, and you know, some devotees are so talented, you know, they could be doing something else and they just create a tune, and whilst others, even when you tell them the tune, they can't get it. So that's a natural gift, so we really, really appreciate it. And like we said, we were going to have Bibu go to actually do the Kirtan. Due to technical problems, we couldn't do it, but we're looking into that. So the next item is, you know, Jai Radha Madhav, and we'll go all the way to Solihull. And there's a special family there. The children, they're so talented. You know, Sudarshan, he was only 3 or 4, and he's famous on the YouTube. He was leading the Kirtan in the temple room, so they know him. And his sister is a real Pataka. She's the Tiksha. She will actually surprise you as well. Before they actually do Jai Radha Madhav, I'll ask her if she can sing the first 2 verses of Gopi Gita. Gopi Gita is the highest in Bhagavatam. And due to associations of somebody in Bharat, you know, they're learning all these wonderful verses. And, you know, when they grow up, they will know much more than we do at the present moment. So, everyone appreciate the children of, you know, the Hare Krishna movement. And Srila Prabhupada trained up generations, even elderly people, youngsters. He established gurukuls all over the world. And it was hard in the beginning, and now it's well established. And, you know, there are many, many people taking advantage of the spirituality which has been offered by Srila Prabhupada. So I would suggest, can we zoom over to Solihull and Pranava's house, and let's hear Tiksha, and Tiksha first with Gopi Gita 2 verses, and then Sudarshan, the hero of YouTube, 3-year-old doing Kirtans. Now he's grown up a bit. I think he's got a little bit of fluff coming up on his upper lip. I noticed the other day on the camera. So over to them. Thank you very much, Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Sri Gopi Vacha Jayati Tetikam Janmanagraja Shayate Indira Shashatatri Taitatishchata Tikshutakas Saisudasava Samachinvate Saradudasaye Shadu Satasa Saraskirotara Shimushatisha Surtanatate Surgadasika Padadadiktoto Nerikinnadat.
Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Yashodhanandana Brajanandana Yashodhanandana Brajanandana Yahudatira Panachari Hira Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Jaya Radha Madhav, Radha Madhav, Radhe, Jaya Radha Madhav, Radha Madhav, Radhe, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, 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 Jai Radha Madhav ki, Prabhupada ki, Guru Maharaj ki Jai, Hari Hari Bol.
Titiksha and Sudarshan, you done brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. You know, the way Titiksha is sitting and doing Kirtan reminded me of Bharat, as if she's one of the gopis in Vrindavan, you know, glorifying Krishna. So it's fantastic. Now, you know, with this lockdown all over the world, you know, Jagannath Temple, somebody sent me a video, there's, you know, hardly any activity going on there. And when Premanji and I, we were there in January, it was absolutely packed. There's loads of people going all through the day. You go to Vrindavan, that's empty. I got Vyaski Prabhu, he sent me a text, he says, I'm enjoying my life in Vrindavan, it's so peaceful. So we always dream of Vrindavan being quiet, because when we go to Vrindavan, it's so packed. But now the ones who are there, they're very lucky, and Yamuna is absolutely clear. You know, there's a devotee sent a video of it. He put his hand in Yamuna, you could see the hand in the water, very, very clear. Normally we go there, we can see the unclean water. So there has been a big advantage there in the spiritual realm. Haridwar, the Ganga Ji is absolutely, you know, clear. The animals, I mean, we're sitting in the garden today, I could hear sparrows, pigeons, all different types of birds, you know, chirping away. And normally we don't hear these birds flying, butterflies. The, you know, flowers have come out really good this time. Sky is clear. So it's bad news for the humans, but for nature, it's a big plus. Now, you know, the humans have been asking who created us. Athatu Brahma Jigyasa. The question is, who created us? Where is this God? You know, we see the creation, but where is the creator? These are very, very good questions. And many scientists who are, you know, clever, they, in the 15th century, 16th, 17th century, they didn't have the answers. But when some of them traveled to Bharat, and they saw the scriptures there, they were really, really impressed. And not only that, even now, many of the scientists, when they hear what's in the Vedas, even Bhagavad Gita, they're really, really impressed. And whereas previous Western religion used to think the earth is flat, in Bhagavatam it's mentioned it's a globe, it's round. Varahaji appeared and lifted the earth from the Garbh Sagar on his tusks like a ball there. And so we were well advanced. Even now, astronomy, astrology, Ayurveda, so much is coming from Bharat. There's so much credibility. But people misunderstand and they call our itihas, our Puranas as mythology. And which is not true, because as devotees of the Lord, we've seen that hearing those leelas of the Lord brings beautiful emotion. Somebody says, no emotion, no devotion. Devotion means that there should be emotion there. So when we hear the leelas of the Supreme Lord again and again, it inspires us. Every day we remember the same leelas. We think of Krishna, we think of Lord Ram, we think of Lord Narasingha. And we get a lot out of it. And Srila Prabhupada took all that culture, Vedic culture, to the Western shores. At the period when there were hippies there, they didn't want to know establishment. They were rebelling against their parents. And, they didn't want to, follow the social code which was in the West. So when Srila Prabhupada went, he got them to shave their hair. There's a little story. Once Prabhupada was shaving and in the mirror, and there was a devotee nearby, and Srila Prabhupada said, Krishna send us to, because he goes, shave the world. And then he giggled, because what he meant was save the world. He goes, he's come to save the world and shave the world. So Srila Prabhupada had sense of humor, but there was a great purpose behind. He wanted the youngsters who were lost in the West, they are waiting for me. He told somebody in Bharat before going. And he actually, went over there to help the Western children. Now they have become sannyasis, gurus. Patak Maharaj, he goes to Bangladesh, initiates so many thousands. And all over the world he goes, and so many other Shiva Maharaj. There's Radha Maharaj. The other day there was a dialogue with Puja Maharaj and Radha Maharaj. And Puja Maharaj was so impressed with Radha Maharaj's, answers, the realizations. And one of the answers was, what do we do in this COVID-19 situations? People are depressed, they're upset. And then they ask Maharaj, and Maharaj says that you got to have a foundation, and a foundation in your heart, where you know your identity, who you are, that you're servant of the Supreme Lord. You have passion, when you have all these values in you, you got the foundation and you're standing on it, then you're not disturbed. Matra sparshastu kontya shitoshna sukha dukkada agma painu nityastam stitikshishva bharata. In second chapter, it says there that just like the winter season and the summer season, they come and they go. So you should tolerate this happiness and unhappiness. So it says nothing stays for long. This situation will go. But while it's on, for the devotees, they're not losing out on anything. In fact, now we are finding with our book club, we're communicating with the devotees more one-to-one. Yesterday we had 2.25-hour session on about 3 pages of Nectar of Devotion. And there are people asking questions like they never asked before. And that's very, very impressive. So you can see, although it's a lockdown situation, but it has locked down our intelligence, our devotion. It's actually flourishing. And so now, we want to hear from our scriptures. And Vidhu Prabhu, one of the senior devotees in Coventry, he's the temple president. He loves reading the books. He says, if you go to his house, he's got libraries of loads of books. And today we've invited him to speak and inspire us. And the question is, who's the creator? Who created everyone? So that could be one of the questions. So we will actually go over to Vidhu Prabhu. And please listen to the points being made and get inspired. And we are not just talking, Prabhupada said this Krishna consciousness is not a religion. It's a science. It's a science of Krishna consciousness. It's actually scientific. And Vidura is a scientific minded. He works for Rolls-Royce. And so you can see that, even I used to work for Rolls-Royce, and we got degrees, and we turned to this Krishna consciousness after having degrees in jobs. Good jobs, we still, had them. I retired early, but Vidura is still there. So it's not that we didn't know, what is what. We're scientific minded, and we still haven't touched the surface of Krishna consciousness. We read and we are amazed. There's so much depth in it. So, Vidura Prabhu, over to you. Please inspire us. And I would encourage, if somebody has questions, can they type it? I don't know how technically they can do that, but they can. There's a place there where they can type or send on WhatsApp on book club or whatever if you have a question, and then we can pass it on to Vidura Prabhu. So Vidura Prabhu, over to you. Thank you very much. Jai Ho.
Thank you, Haridas. Hare Krishna to everybody. Welcome to the Sunday program, our second one. And we are trying to, as a temple and as devotees of the temple, we are trying to learn and adapt to this lockdown situation and how to have a sense of normality as a temple. And so we were very grateful to our technical team with the 3-4 members there who are trying to set all these Zoom meetings now. Today we're trying StreamYard, all just to give you a better presentation when you're receiving it. Forgive us if there are technical problems. Sometimes the sound is playing up, sometimes the picture goes funny. Please be tolerant, and we are working on it and getting so much better. Thank you. So today's class is from Bhagavad Gita. And Haridas was phrasing the question, who created everything. Actually, the subject matter of Krishna consciousness, as taught to us by Srila Prabhupada, is the creator, the source of everything. Everything, both the spiritual and material universes, is Krishna. And that is described very nicely in Srimad Bhagavatam. And in the very first verse, Krishna is the topic finishes with the words Satyam Param Dhimahi. The subject we're interested in is the supreme absolute truth. There are many, many truths, different types of truths, but worse than that, in this day and age with the social media, where anybody can type anything, there is so much untruth in the world. So much untruth, so much so that you don't know what's right, what's wrong anymore. Everybody's exploiting the untruthful nature at the moment. But Bhagavatam is pointing to the Param Satya, the Param truth. Yes? And the other wonderful book we have is Bhagavad Gita. And Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the absolute truth. So these two books, we direct you towards these two books to learn about the real truth, the absolute truth. Hare Krishna. So today's verse is from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, and our selected verse is 3 and 4. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mama Yonir Mahad Brahma Tasmin Garbham Dadamyaham Sambhava Sarva Bhutanam Tato Bhavati Bharata. Then the word for word of that verse is Mama, my. Yoni, source of birth. Just 1 second. Mahat, the total material existence. Brahma, supreme, Tasmin, in that. Garbham, pregnancy. Tadami, create. Aham, I. Sambhava, the possibility. Sarva Bhutanam, of all living entities. Tata, thereafter. Bhavati becomes Arata, O son of birth. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki jai. The total materialist substance called Brahm is the source of birth, and it is that Brahm that I impregnate, making possible the births of all living entities, O son of Bharat. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. This is an explanation of the world. Everything that takes place is due to the combination of Kshetra and Kshetragya, the body and the spirit soul. So I'll just pause for a minute there. And the reason I picked this verse is I've been sharing with some devotees that I've started to systematically read the Bhagavad Gita from the beginning right through to the end, successfully. And I've been reading Gita for many years, 30 years plus. And the way I'm understanding it now, it seems like I wasn't reading it before properly. And this time I'm reading it and fresh things are just jumping out of me. So, for example, what I just read was in the first line of the purport, the terms Kshetra and Kshetragya are mentioned. The field and the knower of the field. And this is the subject of the previous chapter, chapter 13. And for a long time, I could not get into chapter 13. It was difficult for me to try and make sense of it. But suddenly, because of this, my systematic reading, this time chapter 13 made a lot of sense. And here, this is continuing chapter 14 from the previous chapter. And it was my respect for Bhagavad Gita that I'm picking this verse today to help to illuminate to all of you the beauty of Bhagavad Gita. What a wonderful book this is. So I'll continue reading. This combination of material nature and the living entity is made possible by the Supreme God Himself. The Mahat Tattva is the total cause of the total cosmic manifestation, and that total substance of the material cause, in which there are three types of nature, is sometimes called Brahm. The Supreme Personality impregnates that total substance, and thus innumerable universes become possible. This total material substance, the Mahat Tattva, is described as Brahman in the Vedic literature. Tasmad etad Brahma nama rupam ananta jayate. The Supreme Person impregnates that Brahma with the seeds of the living entities. The 24 elements beginning from earth, water, fire, and air are all material energy, and they constitute what is called Mahat Brahm, or the great Brahman, the material nature. As explained in the 7th chapter, beyond this there is another superior nature, the living entity. Into material nature, the superior nature is mixed by the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and thereafter all living entities are born of this material nature. The scorpion lays its eggs in piles of rice, and sometimes it is said that the scorpion is born out of rice. But the rice is not the cause of the scorpion. Actually, the eggs were laid by the mother. Similarly, material nature is not the cause of the birth of the living entities. The seed is given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they only seem to come out as products of material nature. Thus, every living entity, according to his past activities, has a different body created by this material nature, so that the entity can enjoy or suffer according to his past deeds. The Lord is the cause of all the manifestations of living entities in this material world. I'll quickly read this verse 4. Sarva yonishu konteya bhutaya sambhavati ya tasam brahma madhyoni aham bija pradapita. So aham bija pradapita, this is quoted often by devotees. within Krishna consciousness, within ISKCON. They like this, this verse, this line especially, to identify that Krishna is a source of all of us. And the translation of that is, it should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving Father. Krishna is saying, I am the seed-giving Father. So this description of how Krishna is the father of all of us. There is a picture, a famous picture in our books, which I never connected with these verses before. But suddenly this time that connection came across so strongly. And I'll try and hold the picture up, and hope if you're able to see that picture. Okay, but hold the picture up. You see the picture? Right. That's Mahavishnu. He's gazing at Durga, and that gaze is known as Sadashiv. Okay, that gaze is Sadashiv. And with that gaze, he is implanting all living entities into material nature, Durga. Right? That's a famous picture we have. The impregnation of living entities into material nature, known as who is material nature, the deity in charge material nature is Durga Devi. And material nature is made of three qualities of nature, three gunas: Satagun, Tamagun, Rajagun. This verse is describing that picture. That's the creation of the material universes and the transplantation of living entities into that material nature. That is amazing. That's what I found so amazing. So once again, if I read the translation, the total material substance is called Ram, is a source of birth. Right? So the source of birth is total material substance. We saw Durga Devi there. Right? She is receiving all the living entities. She represents material nature, and she has three qualities, three modes: Sattva, Tamo, Rajaguns. In that nature, that gaze of Mahavishnu is agitating the balance of Sattvagun, Rajagun, Tamagun. There it is, the nature is being loaded up with the living entities. And then from that, secondary creation happens, and then the living entities gain material bodies. So that material substance goal is a source of birth, right? Mahavishnu is responsible. Mahavishnu is responsible for all of us, all living creatures in the universe, right? He implanted the living entities in material nature. Then they ended up further down in material bodies in different universes. And what is Krishna saying further? It is that material nature that I impregnate. That gaze of Sadashiv, where he gazes, he's just transplanting living entities into that material nature. Yes, he's impregnating material nature. Impregnating. Making possible the births of all living beings, O son of Bharat. And that ties in with the next verse where Krishna is saying, it should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature. So birth as we know it only happened because of our being put into material nature by Krishna. We desired it, Krishna made it happen. Okay, you desire that, you go into material nature, I'll put you in there. And that I am the seed-giving Father. I am the seed-giving Father. Krishna, Mahavishnu, seed-giving Father. How beautiful are these two verses? I never realized before that Krishna was describing this. I hold this picture up once again. Can you see the beauty of this verse in a new light now? Yes. Krishna is Mahavishnu is impregnating all living entities into material nature, shown as Durga Devi there. Right? So the wonderful thing I realized with making this connection with that picture, and I admired that picture for a very, very long, from beginning, I've been admiring that picture. The beautiful thing is, it's taken me so long to make that connection. I've been reading these verses for such a long time, and it takes a long time for some blessing to come from somewhere and make you realize the beauty of the verse. The whole Bhagavad Gita is like that. Whole Bhagavad Gita is full of beautiful depth, okay? But it takes time, and sometimes for someone else to explain it, if you realize, wow, that's what this verse is saying. Now, why is that? If we go to the introduction, the clue is there right in the beginning of introduction, after the invocation verses. After the invocation verses, and I apologize today. In my excitement, I forgot to chant those verses. Omo Gyanatimiratasya Dhyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumutamyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So those verses, when they are done, the first thing Prabhupada says is, Bhagavad Gita is also known as Gita Upanishad. Bhagavad Gita is also known as Gita Upanishad, meaning Gita Upanishad. It is the essence of Vedic knowledge and one of the most important Upanishads in Vedic literature. Vedic literature, right? Upanishads are part of the Vedas. Now, again, for a long time, the Vedas, the Upanishads, the Vedanta Sutras, different phrases words have been used to describe what they are. I heard things like, they are very terse explanations of some truth. They are codified forms of explanation of Vedic knowledge. They are aphorisms. They are sutras. And I was thinking how it's difficult. It was difficult to try and portray that to someone else, saying, what are we trying to say here when we say it's codified, in a short few words. Sutras are something massive and condensed into a few words. And the best example I came up with just recently is the way to understand these Upanishads, the verses in there are like the codes for something, described as something bigger. They are like the table of contents in front of a book. This Bhagavad Gita has a table of contents. And the table of contents will virtually have just one line saying what that chapter is all about. You have to go to the chapter itself to understand the full topic in detail. So the table of contents, I think of as the sutras, aphorisms, the verses in the Upanishads. There, that's one-liners indicating there's a lot more depth to the subject, but you have to go into the actual chapter itself to find out what that is. But in our case, an easier process is to go to somebody who knows the subject. Go to advanced devotees. Go to Prabhupada's books. He has already explained these things. Right? He has explained. Listen to senior devotees give classes. These things are possible now. Prabhupada has written so many books. He is opening the world of Vedic knowledge to the whole world. Yes, to everyone. Although this is amazing knowledge. For Prabhupada, with his hard work over so many years at late in his life, he has given this amazing gift to the world. And please, we keep saying it, read Prabhupada's books. As I said in the beginning, there is so much untruth in the world now, so much untruth, which is exploited by so many people to propagate their own propaganda. That you don't know what's right, what's wrong. It's that bad. So please, to find out who you really are, what this world is all about, what is the purpose in life for us while we're here. Find out all these things in truth. Please turn to read Prabhupada's books. Please read Prabhupada's books. Another beautiful thing about Bhagavad Gita, going to the end of the introduction now. We learned is Gita Upanishad. So the verse I read, that chapter 14, verses 3 and 4, but how this time something there was a deep revelation connected with the picture of creation. It indicated to me that yes, that verse, there's a lot packed in that verse. There's a lot. It's like a sutra. It's like a sutra. But the purport, Prabhupada expands in the purport what the verse is saying. By ourselves, it may not have been possible to come to that understanding. But Prabhupada opened up that verse. Right? The verse is like the one-liner in the table of contents, but someone has to come along and then explain what the detailed information is in that verse. So it hit me that this Bhagavad Gita is full of sutras. These verses are so deep. We've been just casually reading them, but they're full of deep import. And the beautiful thing about Vedic knowledge is it's like an ocean. It's a beautiful ocean. The normal ocean out there, we need to be afraid of it, because if we drown in there, our life's finished. This spiritual ocean, we should dive in it willingly and go as deep as we can to get more and more nectar out of it. So that's why I realized, hang on, this really is a book full of sutras. Hence the definition is Gita-upanishad. It's the Gita Upanishad. It's an Upanishad. An explanation of Upanishads are part of the whole Vedas, the Vedas. And there are two types of Sanskrit. There is ordinary Sanskrit called Lokik Sanskrit. Lokik means ordinary people, those and is lok, that they are able to speak it. But the Sanskrit of the Vedas is much higher than that. Much higher than that. And if you are able to speak Lokik Sanskrit, then the Vedic Sanskrit requires much more effort on your part to come to grips with it, to learn it, to master it. Because there's a lot packed in those sutras, and that is very technical. Very technical. So it requires help from an expert to bring out the nectar in those verses. Right? You have to bring out the nectar, the depth in those verses. Somebody expert has to help you bring it out. Hence, Prabhupada said this another name for Gita Upanishad is Bhagavad Gita is Gita Upanishad. That's the beginning of introduction. Now at the end of the introduction, Prabhupada is again going back, again is finishing glorification of Gita by quoting Gita verses from Gita Mahatmya. And one of them is the sixth verse of Gita Mahatmya. Sarvapanishado gavo dogda gopala nandana pato vatsa sudhir bhokta dugdam gitamritam mahat. Translation is, this Gita Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, the essence of all the Upanishads, is just like a cow. And Lord Krishna, who is famous as a coward boy, is milking this cow. So there are so many Upanishads in the Vedic literature. But this Gita is the essence of all the Upanishads. I want to, as I said, I want to give you the deep appreciation for what Bhagavad Gita is. There are many, many Upanishads. They are part of the Vedic literature, the Vedas, and the Vedas, Upanishads are written in Vedic Sanskrit as opposed to Lokic Sanskrit. And yet, this Gita Upanishad, the Bhagavad Gita, is the essence of all the Upanishads. So all the Vedic literature, all the Vedic information, we are not coming to the peak. This is the essence of all Upanishads. And it's just like a cow. As I said in the beginning, be interested begins world of untruths. Now is more or less a world of untruth. The two books you want to turn to for the Param Satya, the supreme truth, is Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. Gita is spoken by the supreme truth. Bhagavatam is describing the supreme truth. So at the peak of this Vedic knowledge is Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. It's the peak of Vedic knowledge. Okay? And it's the essence of all the Upanishads. And this Bhagavad Gita is like a cow. And Lord Krishna, who's famous as Coward Boy, Gopal Nandana, is milking this cow. Gopal is milking this cow. But cow only gives milk when there's a calf, and the calf is hungry. So Arjuna is just like the calf. Arjuna is an instrument for the speaking of Bhagavad Gita. He's asking questions to Lord Krishna, all about life. He's asking these wonderful questions. So he's a cause of Krishna bringing out this milk. But the beautiful thing I like is, and learned scholars and pure devotees, and us devotees, I'm adding that on, other devotees. It says here, learned scholars and pure devotees are to drink the nectarian milk of Bhagavad Gita. So this milk which is coming out, these sutras from Gita Upanishad, they're like nectar. They're like nectar. And we are to drink this nectar. How we need to read Bhagavad Gita. Right? Arjuna is asking the questions. He's the hungry calf. Krishna is the cow. And he's bringing out the... So the Gita Upanishad is the cow. Krishna is milking the cow. Right? Milking the cow. Arjuna, on behalf of all of us, asking these wonderful questions. And then the milk is coming and we are to drink this. This is nectar we are drinking when reading Bhagavad Gita. Think of it like that. Sri Atul Krishna Maharaj, Goswami, he made a wonderful point, which I heard once. He said, and he was quoting this verse. This verse he was quoting from Gita Mahatmya. He said, what does this mean? If we had a container, and there was some milk in it, and we left it for overnight, more than a day, what would become of that milk? It will go stale. It will smell. You wouldn't want, you want to quickly throw it away and wash the cup and get rid of the smell, right? Milk sitting in a glass for a couple of days or more, it's just going to be awful. Okay, this is milk. This milk is nectar. Doesn't matter how long it's sitting there, it will be beautiful. It will be ever fresh. It will be nourishing. That's the beauty of Bhagavad Gita. It never ages. It never ages. 5,000 years ago. Look at the beauty which I'm discovering, and I hope I'm able to convey the excitement to you and that you pick it up also. This is a wonderful book that we have. It's a wonderful book we have, and it will never go sour. This milk in this coming from this book will never sour. Right? It will never sour. It'll be nourishing all the time, and it will give you fresh enjoyment all the time. It'll give you new enjoyment all the time. You'll discover a fresh taste, a different taste, but always wonderful, always wonderful. So I think I will stop there. I hope that some of what I wanted to convey to you has come across. I'm excited by this, what I'm discovering about Bhagavad Gita after so many years. After so many years, what I'm discovering about the beauty of Bhagavad Gita. So please take these two books to heart, and they will change your lives. That's Prabhupada's promise. Prabhupada's promise about his books. Prabhupada said, my books are the law books for mankind for the next 10,000 years. Prabhupada will not cheat you. The world is full of cheaters and the cheated. Prabhupada is not here to cheat you. He is here to take you out of this ever crazier world you're living in. That's the Prabhupada's mission. So, Hare Krishna. If anyone would like to add a comment or ask a quick question, I'm not sure how this is going to work. I'm getting comments that but the picture from mine is not very clear. But my comment on that will be that on my system, I got an iMac here. It's perfect. What I'm saying is perfect, including my own picture. But others are reporting that they are not having good picture quality. So as I said, we are experimenting. We are going into new avenues here. So we have 10 more minutes officially. Okay, one question has come from Shraddha Devi. She's asking, why do we chant Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta before a Kirtan? And it's not necessarily 3 times. We see this is before the Maha Mantra. The Maha Mantra was given to us by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a Yuga Avatar, and he came to propagate the Yuga Dharma, which is the chanting of the holy names. And he gave us the Maha Mantra, and the Maha Mantra is a very powerful mantra because it doesn't require any formal procedures or vidhis in the chanting of it. Anybody can chant it. Okay, but because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his principal associates, the Panchatattva, they came to spread the Yuga Dharma. We take their blessings also before we chant the Maha Mantra. The persons, the 5 main personalities who came to teach us how to chant Maha Mantra, we get their blessings first. That's why we chant the Panchatattva pranams before we chant the Maha Mantra, either in Kirtan or when you're doing Japa. So I hope that answers that question. Okay. There are no more comments. We're a bit ahead of time, but if we want to move on now, we can.
Haribol, that was amazing descriptions of scriptures and the language we use. Thank you, Vidhu Prabhu. I really also like that picture very much. And since you highlighted it, it has more meaning, because somebody told me actually there's no picture of Sadashiva. And it's the gaze, you see. And many people show Sadashiva as Lord Shivji. That's partly true, but in Gaur Leela, Advaita Acharya is Mahavishnu and Sadashiva combined. So you can see there's a personality there, who is responsible for the material creation. Advaita Acharya, that was nice. And I really like this Upanishads. You explained all that very, very well. And this Lokik Sanskrit. And there are some villages in India, they actually speak the Sanskrit in the villages in the south, and that's Lokik Sanskrit. And then you have, it's like the English, you've got the regular English, and then you got the literary English, which is more complex or technical. And you explained it all well, and I really like that this milk, this message of Bhagavad Gita never goes stale, and it's always current, it'll continue to be current. And the same knowledge was given to the sun god in the 4th chapter, Krishna says, and then it's been given again to Arjunji for us. And Arjun was enlightened as well, because they're Narayan rishis. So you explained it so well, and this is the value of the Sunday program. Many of us are able to read the scriptures, others are not able to read the scriptures. Vidhu Prabhu, I could ask you a question. What happens to those who are not very clever at reading and remembering? How would they get salvation? How would they be saved? In Kali Yuga, what is the process in Kali Yuga that even if you're not so educated and not fortunate to be able to read and remember, what could they do to, be saved? So that's one question people might have in their mind. Vidhu Prabhu, if you could, enlighten us on that.
It's a very good point. Does echo? Okay. All right. Good question, Haridas, and very valid actually, because not everybody is like me. I just have a nice library behind me. I like books, and I love to read, but not everybody is like that. But that doesn't matter. Krishna consciousness can be practiced by anybody. Anybody. You don't have to be a somebody who can read all these books. You don't have to. You simply have to have faith and believe in that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and you chant the Maha Mantra, and you give some seva to your ability at your temple. Have faith in Prabhupada, have faith in the process. Just given. We are talking about sadhana bhakti recently in our book club, and a lot of it is, yesterday's emphasis was hearing, chanting, and remembering the Supreme Lord. Hearing and chanting, taking part in Kirtan, going to the temple and giving a little service, listening to others explain about Krishna consciousness. You may not be able to yourself, listen to others who can. And that, what they said, you take it on board and you remember those words. And you put them in your life. And ask questions of the senior devotees, guidance, how you progress in your Krishna consciousness. And they will engage you. They will guide you.
Yes, so that's good, because there's a verse, Hare Ranam, Hare Ranam, Hare Ranam, Eva Kevalam, Kalau Nasteva, 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 Gatiranyata. There's no other way, but from chanting of the holy name, chanting of the holy name, chanting of the holy name. So Srila Prabhupada went to the West and actually got everybody in the beginning to chant the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And we should remember, even children, little children, they do wonderful Maha Mantras. and they are also Vaishnavas, but because we do have education, which is just material education, and so these books, when you read Bhagavad Gita, it makes you understand who is Krishna. But you just got to love Krishna. You don't even have to understand him, because the potency of the name Krishna is so powerful, it will make you a devotee. And so in many countries, many American devotees went and they didn't even speak the language. They got them to chant, the Maha Mantra. And now those people became disciples of Srila Prabhupada, and those countries are Krishna conscious. So thank you very much for that. And we have 3 more minutes before we go over to the temple for the Arati. And there'll be a video, live Arati being shown, but Kirtan will be done by Anuragi, Kibaja, and then we followed by Guru Sevak and myself. And so we would want that those people in their houses, they can actually have the Arati tray ready, so they can offer the Arati to Sachinanda Nitai Chand on the screen if they're able to show it. We'll see how it goes. And please, there's one very important date coming on Tuesday, which is Nirjala Ekadashi, for the fans of those who like to have Ekadashi fast without eating or drinking anything. There's only a few of them. The rest are always dreaming of food on Ekadashi Day, I know. So here's a chance, Nirjala Ekadashi, Pandava Ekadashi. It'll be on Tuesday, and next day on Wednesday, Dvadashi, you can complete the fast at nearly 5 o'clock in the morning. Now, previous years, we used to gather at the temple and, stay awake all night, and that's not possible now. So I would say just to stay awake in the home might be difficult. So what we're doing is we'll give you a notice on Monday what we might do. We might do a little slot of Kirtan in the evening on Tuesday, and to keep everybody engaged like that. Also, I would like to say there'll be announcements afterwards, but like tomorrow, it's somebody's Anprasad ceremony, and they have sponsored the prayers for their child. And please, we're encouraging people in this lockdown situation, because people are not coming. Our income is very much down. So to all the devotees, I know you give regularly, but you need to give a little bit more to keep the temple going. We have so many expenses on the electricity, gas and water, and so many other things, refurbishing, and we're paying bills. So please, devotees, don't forget, it's because of you the temple is going. So we would like you to continue to give additional sums while you are in the lockdown situation, and because the donation box is empty because nobody's able to go in there. There'll be a further announcements. There'll be further announcements as well. So please tune in. And you know what? You're missing the temple, and hope today you enjoyed the temple program, broadcasted live like this. And it was our first time, so I bet there were glitches, and the picture quality might not be good, and sound and whatever. Please forgive us, but just remember, when you hear us, you've heard us in the temple. Just imagine you're back in the temple again, and we're associating again. So we will be doing this Sunday program every Sunday, coming to your homes. And like I said, when we do Prabhupada Arati, have the flower for Srila Prabhupada. And now for the main Arati, please have the Arati tray. So when the deities will be there, you can actually offer the incense, the ghee lamp, or just ghee lamp, or even offer a flower. So that way you'll feel you're part of this community, who's worshipping Sri Krishna under Srila Prabhupada's guidance like that. So it's 6 o'clock now, and I think if you can share the screen with the temple, let's see if they're there. Oh, there you go. Jai Sachinanda Nitai Chand Ki Jai. So there'll be a split screen where there'll be singers also being seen, and Shravan Prabhu, who is the production controller, he will be deciding when to put the screen full on or share it, whatever, but there'll be Kirtan going on. I don't know if, will you have to share all the time to get the sound of the Kirtan? I think he has to.
Yeah,
He knows, yeah. Okay, we'll see. If he does go out, we'll guide. It's our first time, so thank you very much for listening, and thank you Vidhu Prabhu, and thank you Radha Roop and Kamal Prabhu, and Lil Titiksha and Sudarshan. It was a real, experience for me to be talking to a camera instead of a lot of people. I like, to see loads of people, and we're going to get better after this. And You know, the pujaris work so hard, you know, in the morning, in the at night time, and you know, we like to give them a big round of applause for staying in there in the lockdown and not meeting people, and they're continuing. The standard of dressing is beautiful. Every day darshans are given. You know, we wait for those darshan, and so now those deities are looking at us saying, come on, do my Arati, Haridas, we're delaying you. Okay, here we go. Start. Is Pujari there? Okay.
Giva Jayo, Jayo, Gaura Chande, Arati Shobha.
Giva Jayo, Jayo, Gaura Chande, Arati Shobha.
Giva Jayo, Jayo, Gaura Chande, Arati Shobha.
Giva Jaya, Jaya, Gaura Chande, Arati Shobha.
Goshaya
Krishna prastaya bhutale Srimate Krishna dasami iti namine
Namayo Vishnu Padaya Krishna prastaya bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Swami
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prajarine Nirvashesha Shunnavadi Paschatadi
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prajarine Nirvashesha Shunyavani Paschatadi Shatadine
Jai Shri Vishnu Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Rama
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Gora নয়ন পথগামী
জয় 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 জয়
নয়ন পথগামী বাবা তুমি
जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी बाबा तुम्हें
जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय श्याम सुंदर प्यारे जगन्नाथ
जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय श्याम सुंदर प्यारे जगन्नाथ
जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा
जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा
जगन्नाथ स्वामी पतगामी बाबा तुम्हें
जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी बाबा तुम्हें
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Sita Rama 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 Sita Rama Rama Rama
Sita
Sita Rama 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 Sita Rama Rama Rama
Sita Rama 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 Sita Rama 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 Sita Rama 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 Sita Rama Rama Rama
Sita Rama 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 Sita Rama 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 Sita Rama 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 Sita Rama Rama Rama
Sita Rama 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 Sita Rama 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 Sita Rama 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 Sita Rama Rama Rama
Sita Rama 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 Sita Rama Rama Rama
Sita Rama 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 Sita Rama Rama Rama
Sita Rama 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 Sita Rama 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 Raja Rama Rama
Raja Rama Rama Raja Rama Rama
Raja Rama Rama Raja Rama Rama
Raja Rama Rama
Jayo Prabhupada Jayo Prabhupada Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Prabhupada, oh Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jagat Guru. Jayo Guru Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, Jayo Patite Bhava. Guru Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, Patite Bhava. Gurudev, 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 Jai Jai Gurudev.
Nitai Chand ki, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra ki, Jai Ho, Jai Jai Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki, Sri Guru Maharaj ki. So now we continue, we go all the way to Milton Keynes, and there's a family waiting there, Ravi Tej, Krishna's family, and so this has been a wonderful Sunday program. We've been to Rugby, we've been to Coventry, and now we're going to Milton Keynes. We've been to Solihull as well, and it's been an exciting journey, and we are learning more and more how to get better at it, so hope you can tolerate our mistakes. And as we were doing the Arati, the different shots of Sachinanda and Nitai Chand with different outfits came, and Jagannath Baldev Subhadra, and we remember those wonderful days when we used to dress them up ourselves as well. And I was thinking that we are seeing the pictures on the screen and the shots from the temple as well. So to us, it's some image on the computer, but actually it was coming from the temple. So similarly, when we are glorifying Krishna, we might be doing it in the material world, but actually it's going all the way to Golok. So here's a consolation with this technology. We were singing glories of Sachinanda and Nitai Chand in the temple. They could hear us, we could see them. So similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has done incredible by this Mahamantra. When we chant in the Mahamantra, we are saying it here, and you might be thinking, can they hear us? Can Krishna hear us? Yes, he can. Just like we saw the Arati, we saw the Lordship, and they were able to hear us as well in the Kirtan form like that. So please realize this process is very, very live, very potent, and very, very beneficial. It's actually an insurance in our spiritual life, because every day we hear sad news. Today, even from Botswana, I got a call, and somebody we know, their Masi was coming from, Bharat to UK, and I don't know, she had some sort of medicine side effects en route in the flight. Blood started to come out of her pores, and she got here, went straight to the hospital. 2 days later, they died. And then somebody else's, same family, another Masi in Bharat, she passed away out of heart attack. And they said there's many more news coming like that. Somebody's got a brain tumor, the Pujari called Ravi in Botswana. So we're going to do prayers for them. And for that, who do we turn to? To Lord Narasingha. And we know for personal experience, prayer of Vaishnavas and the mercy of the Lord actually cures, helps devotees. So please, for all those departed souls as well, and those who are going to get like tumor operation tomorrow, Ravi is a Pujari in Botswana. And there's many other cases in UK, coronavirus, because they're dying there. So we are doing this special Narasingha prayer all the way from Milton Keynes with the family. So let's go over to Milton Keynes, and everybody please, say the prayers from your hearts. Thank you. Haribol. Jai Ho Ravi Kiran.
Hare Krishna. Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Praladaladaine.
Daladalaine.
Hiranyakashipurvachaha.
Kanyakashipurvachaha.
Shilatankanakalaye.
Shilatankanakalaye.
Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha.
Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha.
Yeto yeto yami tato Narsimha.
Yeto yeto yami tato Narsimha.
Bahe Narsimha Hridaye Narsimha.
Bahe Narsimha Hridaye Narsimha.
Narasimha Madim Sharanam Prapade.
Narsimha Madim Sharanam Prapade.
Tava Kara Kamala Naka Akuta Singha. Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanavrinda. Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare.
Tava Kara Kamala Naka Adhuta Sindram. Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanavrinda. Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare.
Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare.
Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare.
Jayo Narsimha Dev, Jayo Narsimha Dev, Jayo Narsimha Dev, Jayo Narsimha Dev.
Jaya Narsimha Dev, Jaya Narsimha Dev, Jaya Narsimha Dev, Jaya Narsimha Dev.
Jayo Prahlad Maharaj, Jayo Prahlad Maharaj, Jayo Prahlad Maharaj, Jayo Prahlad Maharaj.
Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj.
Jayo Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Jayo Jayo Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jayo Jayo Gurudev, 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 Jayo Jayo Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Jaya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
ओम विघ्न विनाश नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय,
जय।
प्रहलाद महाराज की जय,
जय।
प्रभुपाद की जय,
जय।
गुरुदेव की जय,
जय।
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय।
जय।
हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna, thank you very much. So we'd just like to thank all our viewers for tuning in today. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's Krishna of Vrindavan, and you can just click on the red button below. So you will find more information also on our website, which shall soon be going live. It's www.krishnaofvrindavan.com. Also, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at ISKCON Coventry. So you also had the announcement earlier that we are collecting donations. So although we're doing, we've got the temple closed for COVID during COVID-19, but the activities are still going. So you can see that we're celebrating festivals, starting these weekly Sunday programs, having book club, and all these things do come at a cost. So streaming costs, and we're looking at improving our equipment so we can connect to the temple better, give you better darshans, live aratis. Just like you saw this evening, there are room for improvements. And it was a lovely presentation by Radha Madhav, our head pujari, who was sharing video pictures, live pictures, photograph pictures of our deities. But we can also do equally a better quality with the live arati as well. So these things do incur costs, so please donate using the details below. So you can take a picture of this screenshot of the details, the bank details. Also, our other temple activities are, people can actually sponsor Bhoga, the worship of the lordships, which is continually happening daily, even though the temple is closed. But the lovely pujaris that are at the temple, they're still serving to the highest standard. They're still serving daily, morning and evening. Bhoga is being offered, the dresses are being offered to the lordships, and there's Arati going on. And we'll also be starting a virtual Puja service. So anybody who would like to sponsor a Puja to the deities, either on special occasions like birthdays, anniversaries, or in memory of a departed soul. So our pujaris, we can actually connect you to the pujaris at the temple, and you can actually perform a virtual puja. So if anybody is interested in booking a puja or sponsoring for the lordships, do send us an email at kov@krishnaofvrindavan.com, at kov@krishnaofvrindavan.com. So they are the technical details. I'll just go on to the following Sunday programs. We will be doing this weekly at 4:30 on Sunday, so please do tune in every Sunday. And we shall be also introducing dramas by the children. So they'll also be recorded locally, and then we'll bring the videos together and show you a presentation of lockdown dramas, festival dramas that the children have acted out in their own homes very enthusiastically. So finally, we'd just like to thank all the viewers for watching, and also thank the technical team who are also working hard behind the scenes. Thank you very much, and please do tune in next week. Hare Krishna.
Finally, thank you, Anuragi. You worked so hard to get this thing off the ground, and the team. And I would like to say that this was a success. We've had compliments on the WhatsApp. People felt connected to the temple again, and they enjoyed the pujari offering the ghee lamp and everything to the Lordship. They really enjoyed it. So thank you very much. And if you have any suggestions that you would like us to include something in this live broadcast, please get in touch. You know where to do that, and we would like to include that. I mean, I have in mind, we would like to include Tulsi Arati as well. We could go to somebody's house, beforehand we would know, and then they get their Tulsi set up, and then they can do the Arati, so we can zoom in. And we're looking at web cameras and whatever, but all the prices have gone up now because everybody wants web cameras. Some of the picture qualities weren't that good, but Ravi Kirtans, Ravi Tej, Krishna's sound was very good, and the visual was very good as well. So maybe we can share how we can improve our images and transmission. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a wonderful day, wonderful night. And then please remember, Nirjala Ekadashi on Tuesday, no food, no water, but you'll get loads and loads of benefits. So let's do it for the world, for the COVID, and give the results to somebody who's not well, and that way they will actually improve. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sachinandanitai Chand ki jai, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra ki jai, Jai Jai Sri Radhe Shyam.